killing someone.
Always trust my gut.
Hello and welcome to Gutted. I'm Elise.
And I'm Tony, and we're here to spill our guts about horror films. And thank you so much for joining us. If this is your first time, we have another Guess the Ending episode for you.
In this episode, we will be discussing or trying to guess the end to Graveyard Shift from 1990.
One by one, it will devour them all.
We're like shrimp in an all-you-can-eat salad bar, and that thing ain't stopping till it's full.
Must be some other way out of here.
It's blood!
This isn't real. This is the new horror from the mind of Stephen King. Graveyard Shift. Good benefits. Early retirement.
Directed by Ralph S. Singleton, which this is his only feature that he's directed. Screenplay by John Esposito, who is the contributing writer on Creepshow, R.L. Stine's The Haunting Hour, and The Walking Dead webisodes. And Graveyard Shift is a short story written by horror literary legend Stephen King.
If you haven't seen Graveyard Shift and want to play along, it's currently streaming for free on Hoopla or purchase on Prime or Apple TV. Watch about 43 minutes, press pause, and come up with some of your own predictions for the ending.
All right, Tony, have you heard of Graveyard Shift?
I have, yes. I knew this was a Stephen King adaptation. It is one that was not really high on my radar. So many Stephen King novels and short stories that have been adapted into horror movies. I remember this one as the one with the rat on the cover.
And it has a rat on the cover, as seen here, if you are watching.
After seeing the first half, now we understand why there is a rat on the cover.
We understand the rat deserves to have a place on the cover. We were guest podding on the Dread broadcast, and we asked our co-panelists what we should do for our next Guess the Ending from the year 1990. And we threw out a couple options. We said Graveyard Shift, Pacific Heights, and a few others. And the one that stood out to most of the panelists was Graveyard Shift. It was like a resounding do that one. So that's why we're doing Graveyard Shift right now.
Yes. And if you're curious about the Dread broadcast, it is a roundtable of horror creators, podcasters, writers. And at the end of every month, there is a live show where we just talk and shoot the shit about horror, new releases.
And it's always on the last day of each month.
Check that out. We will have the description in the show notes.
Tony, I have another icebreaker for you.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Stephen King as a kid growing up in the 90s?
I didn't know too much about Stephen King. I still haven't read a bunch of Stephen King novels.
I don't think I have either. But you know what? Now that I think about it, I did own a book that had Graveyard Shift as one of the stories.
Okay.
It is a short
It's like
story.
a 13-page short story, which I intend to read before we're finished. The only Stephen King book that I can say with confidence that I've read at least most of is Carrie.
Yeah, we both have read most of Carrie. We went to the bookstore one day and we each bought our own copy because we're like, we're going to read this and we don't want to have to wait for the other one to finish. And we read about the same amount and then stopped around the same point. So we really could have purchased one copy, but that's what happens when you have a fleeting attention span.
We have the attention span for a movie, maybe not a whole book sometimes. I do like many of the novels and stories that have become these wonderful movies. Should I read more? Yes.
We could all read more. Why not? But if you don't, whatever.
Let's just start with children's books with some things with pictures in it. I'm thinking one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish.
Don't patronize us. We are better than that. We can do a short story. But I remember that in this book, I think it had Graveyard Shift, but it also had Children of the Corn. And I didn't realize that that was a short story until I read it in high school. And I was like, wow, this is actually a lot darker than the movie is.
You don't want to mention any other Stephen King books?
What
about The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon? Did I get that title right?
Yes, I did really love The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. That was a great Stephen King book. Not just a short story. It's a shorter book, but a very fast read. Not so much deep into the horror genre, but it is thrilling and there are creepy things that happen. So yeah, I did read that one. Thank you for reminding me.
That's why I was trying to get at, because I was like, oh, that you always mentioned that book.
Well, what is your favorite movie adapted from a Stephen King story?
My favorite is probably The Stand.
Oh, okay. I had heard that Carrie is Stephen King's favorite.
That's also his first novel.
I could be misquoting, but I think I've heard that Stephen King has said that the movie Carrie is better than the book. He said that himself. Like he's like, actually, that was one of my first books. I was growing and watching that turned into this masterpiece of a film made him realize that it's actually probably better than the book. Which I thought, if that's true, I think that's a really big thing of him to say. That might be one of my favorites because it is a little bit weird and it has these moments of levity, like when they're trying on clothes for the prom. It's really cute and it's this kind of like childish, like little like fashion show. After that, it just like devolves into terror. And Piper Laurie is amazing. Anyway, that's probably my favorite.
Shifting back to Graveyard Shift.
Shifting back to Graveyard Shift. Who is in Graveyard Shift? Our main character of John Hall is played by David Andrews. He's in a movie in the 90s called Bad Day on the Block, aka Under Pressure, where Charlie Sheen is like a hothead fireman and he is David Andrews' next door neighbor. That looks good.
Sounds awful, to be
Sounds
honest with you.
really good. It looks like Falling Down if Charlie Sheen was the main character and your neighbor.
That also sounds awful.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong. I don't know.
Looks kind of good.
Then we have Mr. Warwick, played by Stephen Macht. He's the lead guy from Amityville number 6. It's About Time, 1992.
I love that one, actually. I always thought that was the second one, but it's not. It's just...
Are they connected, though?
I don't know if they take place in the Amityville house.
Or is it just one of those things where you just attach Amityville to the name?
If you have
of
the
your
house,
movie?
it is the 6th installment in that franchise. That's why I put Amityville number 6.
This guy also looks super familiar, but I can't quite place where
Probably
I've
from
seen-
Amityville It's About Time.
I don't know if I've seen Amityville 6. It's About Time.
It used to play on the Shudder channel, like instant streaming all the time. And I was like, oh, Amityville, It's About Time. Interesting. We also have Jane. She's the lone female worker in the mill, played by Kelly Wolfe.
All right, I know this next person. So we have the character Tucker Cleveland, aka the Exterminator, played by the one and only Brad Dourif, who had a busy year in 1990.
He did.
That year, he was in Child's Play 2, The Exorcist 3, a drama thriller called Horseplay, and a political thriller called Hidden Agenda, and a folk horror western called Grim Prairie Tales.
He was in a lot in 1990.
Wow, that is an extensive list.
It is. And the drama thriller is called Horseplayer. Because
Horseplayer.
he
I'm
bets-
sorry, I haven't seen these. I'm just reading from the list. He bets a horse.
He bets on horses. He's a gambler. He didn't gamble on this next thing that happens to him. His new neighbors come over and their brother and sister. I don't know. It sounds tawdry.
Have you seen this?
No, I looked at the synopsis on IMDb and it looks good. He was in a lot of thrillers in 1990. So out of all of those, I think I want to check out Grim Prairie Tales. He exchanges
Folk
ghost
horror
stories
western. Okay.
with another traveler and they're trying to one-up each other and see whose story is scarier.
This sounds like some VHS direct-to-video type stuff. They're
It could
probably
have
churning
been, but
these
don't
things out.
discredit that.
Like, hey,
because-
Brad, what are you doing tomorrow? He's like, nothing. You want to be in a movie?
Sure. Just gotta talk and tell a story. I can do that, and he can tell a story.
Can you cry single tear?
Yes, he can.
He will. He'll
As
do all
we've
that.
learned from Exorcist 3 and this movie. All right, we're going to tag team this synopsis here and just kind of quickly go over what's happening in the first 43 minutes of Graveyard Shift. It is 101 degrees in the basement of a textile mill. A sweaty, disgruntled worker is feeding innocent rats to a giant cotton gin, and all the rats are crying.
But the rats get the revenge as an ominous shadow figure feeds him to the cotton gin, and the happy rats feast on his mangled flesh. Later, loose cannon exterminator Tucker Cleveland, played by Brad Dourif, sucks some of the vermin out with a hose into the river. Yahoo, motherfuckers!
Enter the out-of-towner John Hall, played by David Andrews. John is a drifter, a widower, and college-educated. He'll put up with local bullies and crappy diner food on his hunt for a fresh start and any job.
Perfect timing, because Mr. Warwick, played by Stephen Macht, is the manager of the textile mill and is in a desperate need of a cleanup crew before the 4th of July next week.
John Hall is hired for the graveyard shift only on account of the heat. His first night on the job, our favorite exterminator Tucker Cleveland catches him slingshotting soda cans at the pesky rats. This is Tucker's chance to bond with John and show him just how unhinged he is, with a manic monologue about rats and the Viet Cong.
Later, we get to meet Jane, the lone lady on the crew, played by Kelly Wolfe. Jane would rather work for double pay in the dingy and deadly basement of the mill than work in close quarters with Mr. Warwick in his office.
We get another peek at just how deadly this basement is as Stevenson, aka bully number 3 from the diner, is working down there solo among hordes of rats. The rats are the least of his worries, though, as we see him engulfed in 2 giant bat wings and the blood is drained from his body.
Well, the mill is hiring again, and luckily, Charlie Carmichael needs a job. Mr. Warwick peevishly pushes his office manager, Nordello, off of him and hires Carmichael on the spot.
The next day, Nordello learns that her sexual advances were unappreciated since she's just been assigned basement cleanup duty. Nordello declines this job offer by hacking up Mr. Warwick's car in front of the whole town.
The equally volatile Mr. Warwick winds up his fist, but Nordello's face is saved just in time by stoic John Hall. During John's next shift, Mr. Warwick would like to thank him for intervening on Nordello's behalf by offering him a basement cleanup duty. Double pay.
The next day, Jane and John ditch out on diner food for a home-cooked meal. John dishes out the burgers and Jane dishes on their creepy boss and his unsavory character. And that's where we stopped.
Always right where it starts to get good.
Yeah, we're finding out just how gross Mr. Warwick is because he originally had offered Jane the position of office manager, where in exchange for a nice air-conditioned room, she had to provide services on his couch for him.
Yeah, and you mentioned the air conditioning. We need to mention the thing that stands out the most in this movie and how hot and sweaty
it is gross,
grimy and dirty and nasty it is.
I'd be hard pressed to find a movie that is more sweaty and grimy and just disgusting. Everything is just unctuous and uncomfortable in every single shot of this movie so far,
including Mr. Warwick, who comes in just nasty.
Yeah, and he has a very interesting accent. We couldn't quite place it. We're like, is he of German descent? And that German accent is mixing with a New England accent. Is he from the South?
Yeah, I wrote down Creole. I don't know what it's supposed to be.
And I did think that maybe they were in Louisiana until Nordello took her axe and started bashing his car. And we saw that the license plate said Maine.
Which makes sense. A lot of Stephen King movies do take place in Maine. I didn't realize that Maine got that hot, to be honest with you. It was like well over 100 degrees. They're working in a factory with nothing, no insulation. It's just full of cotton and rats, and it's steamy and sweaty and
very
gross.
steamy. We have yet to know the name of their town. We know that our main character, John, came from West Virginia.
I do know the name of the town. Gates Falls.
Gates Falls.
Gates Falls or Gates something like that.
Is this a real town?
You're going to look it up? It's a fictional town created by Stephen King.
Ah, okay. I mean, to your point, I don't know if Maine does get that hot or if it's because of certain elements or happenings in the town that are making the town hot, which we might touch on during our predictions. So what is standing out to you besides the nasty heat and unctuous characters of Gates Falls, Maine?
The monstrous thing that is in the basement and his horde of little buddies.
Little bunnies. Okay, talking about the little buddies, that first scene, oh man, these little rats are so cute. They're just like cleaning themselves, doing their thing, trying to hang out in groups and be social. And that first worker, he yells at Doris the rat for peeing on his chair. And then he picks her up by the tail and he admonishes her in front of the whole group of rats. And all the rats are like staring on, looking at him imploringly, like, no, what are you going to do? And he picks her up by the tail and she actually reaches out for him as he tosses her into the cotton gin.
Very sad.
And then the cotton runs red. It's really sad. And he's about to do it to another rat when that shadow comes up behind him and tosses him in the cotton gin.
Why is it that movie rats are always so adorable?
They're so cute. And they try to make them more ugly by putting like pomade in their fur, making them look greasy. But obviously they couldn't do that to all, like, I don't know, 300 of these rats.
If you have a strong aversion to animal
Rat cruelty,
then you're probably gonna not like this one.
You won't like this first opening scene.
Okay, what would I say about the rats though is it was very impressive how they got that shot of rats sitting along the ledge, and they look very docile. I don't know if they're using dead rats or stuffed rats.
Yeah, I think you thought
they
that
looked very convincing.
Like maybe like half of them are stuffed rats and the other half are actual rats.
Yeah.
But they do look very convincing. And as we pan across that opening shot, some of them are moving and cleaning themselves. It's really cute. But I do think for the majority of them, they are just sitting there staring. So I would say maybe 75% of them.
Yeah. And I know that rats are highly intelligent creatures. I'm just curious, after we watch this movie, I want to see if there's anything in the features on this 4K Ultra copy that we got from Kino Lorber. It's got to have something good about the rats and the animal handler.
Yeah, the rat trainer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty good actors.
They are pretty good actors. They really like tugged at my heartstrings when they're just like watching poor Doris. And even Doris, she's a great little actor. Like she lifted her little paws towards that guy and was like, no, don't. And she didn't say that, but she said it with her eyes. And he tossed her into the cottage.
Yeah, this place, this factory, the setting of our movie is infested.
It is infested. Hence why we need someone like Tucker Cleveland, played by Brad Dourif, to come in and try to suck him out with a hose and then wash him into the river.
Yeah.
Like, is that a method? That
also,
works?
like, why are movie exterminators always these sort of like hardened nom vets who have like post-traumatic stress?
They're always a bit kooky.
It reminded me of Arachnophobia. Yeah.
John Goodman's character. Yes.
Brad Dourif's coming in hard. He's got war stories and he has this personal vendetta against the rat.
When he first meets John Hall in the factory, he's telling John Hall how much he hates the rats. And the more he's talking about these rats and his experience with them in Vietnam, how at first they were his friend and then they changed sides. And you can see the subtext on John Hall's eyes. He's kind of like, are we still talking about actual rats? Are we talking about people now? And I'm
sure there's a blending.
There's a blending for sure. And even at the end of his creepy monologue where he oscillates between like anger and sadness, he does the same kind of monologue in Exorcist 3 where he is just tearful, remembering what has happened to him, but still so full of anger and hate. He just gets that single tear. And I think Brad Dourif's eyes always look like they're on the verge of crying at all times. It's like a talent of his. He just has a tear like ready to go, like just glossing over his irises.
And what a story. I mean, that story was frightening too.
It was.
Yeah. So I don't know what kind of drugs Stephen King was doing, because I heard he used to do a lot of cocaine. But yeah, that was a terrifying story of a Viet Cong torture device using rats.
Right. So he said that one of his buddies was tortured by having his body splayed out, as he said, in a Jesus pose. And the rats were forced into the openings and cuts of his abdomen to stop the beating heart.
Tunneling inside, eating him from the inside out. To me, that was definitely one of the standout moments of the first half. Mm-hmm. We also have this drifter character. What do you think about this guy?
This drifter.
Mr. John Hall, who we didn't know his name.
We actually had to watch it the first half a second time with subtitles, because I'm like, I think he's saying ha. And the only person who really says his name is Mr. Warwick.
It's hard to understand Mr. Warwick's accent. It's
his
pretty
deep,
thick,
ambiguous German.
Yeah, what is this accent? Is this
New
a New
Englander
England?
accent.
Is this a Maine accent? I don't know.
I really think it's like it's a hybrid of like German and New England.
Okay, I only understand Californian.
I only understand Californian and Rat Panic.
Yeah.
So he's got this thick accent and he's saying Mr. Ha. Anyway, it's Hall.
it's Hall.
Hall. Sorry, Mr. Warwick. It is Hall.
Warwick. That's my Californian's accent. He's this drifter who is hated by all the locals. Locals don't take kindly
The locals
to him,
don't take kindly to any strangers.
but loved by all the ladies. Just a hardworking drifter.
Yeah, and since there are only like 3 ladies in town, they all have their sights set on this new guy.
I mean, look at their options. They have these like nasty, sweaty bullies.
Yeah, they're mean.
They're bullies.
They're bullies. They really are. One of the bullies luckily gets like, I said in my synopsis that they're bat wings. I don't actually know if they're bat wings. They remind me of bat wings, and they encapsulate him. And there are claws that dig into one of these bullies, and blood just pours out of this guy.
Okay.
So all we know about this creature so far is that it's giant. It's got giant floppy skin wings and claws.
And it's murderous.
And then the next day, everyone's like, oh, Stevenson left. He just left mid-shift, didn't even take his paycheck. So whatever is happening is being covered up. There are no bodies left behind. And we don't know if Warwick is in on it, but I mean, there's a strong inkling that he knows because he's the one pushing basement duty on all these people.
Yeah, he clearly pushes basement duty on people he doesn't like. And Nordello, she had a line that said, I know what you're doing.
Right.
And she got assigned to the graveyard shift in this like basement cleanup, which is this just gross, nasty, dank
and for kind of
basement.
A petulant reason too. She actually is the one person that has a crush on Warwick and was trying to like fondle him in the parking lot. He's like, don't do that in broad daylight.
Well, he was made the fool of in front of the whole town. So that's why she's getting punished. Because this guy's an awful guy. This guy's not a good person.
She didn't even do this in front of the whole town. She did it in front of a person, Carmichael. He didn't like that she did this in broad daylight, that he assigns her this death wish of a job.
Now we're assuming that Warwick knows what's down there.
He definitely knows that people have gone missing or died down there.
Yeah, so he's in on the cover up.
So why would he assign this to a lady who he's having relations with just because she touched him in broad daylight? It's rude.
That's what we'll find out in the second half.
I'm just saying he'll never get a girlfriend.
All the guys in this town are awful, which makes sense
Terrible.
why all the ladies are flocking towards Mr. John Hall because
Yeah.
he seems like the only decent dude in this town.
And he is still quite mysterious. We don't really know much about him besides that he is a widower. He wears his wedding ring still, though. He's traveled around. He was in Florida for a bit, slinging burgers as a chef cook or a line cook. And we don't really know why he ended up in Maine.
Yeah, and he's a college boy because they keep calling
He's
him
college educated.
Yeah.
So
For this type of job, doesn't seem like you need college for this.
yes. And so I think that is perplexing to Mr. Warwick. And John Hall's like, look, I just need a job. I can do the job. And Warwick's like, fine.
But Warwick's probably thinking like, I'm going to send him down to the basement. Let's talk about this basement because there's like 3 levels to this factory. There's the office and then there's another area of this factory where the string happens, like, you know, the cotton mill
looming.
thing, the looming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's where Jane works. Then there's the actual mill, which is where John Hall's working and where the first character that we saw in the beginning that got tossed
That's
in.
not the main area?
It looks like a separate area and it looked like you just put in the big bushels of cotton and it's kind of separating out all of the kind of the seeds and the branches and the blood, although it couldn't crush a boot.
It could not. It could only
The boot
crush
survived. I wrote that
flesh
down.
and bone.
Yes.
Not this
What kind
heavy
of
duty.
boot is that? I
Must
need that
be like
boot.
a Timberwolf. The kind of boots they wore. in
Timberwolf?
I don't know. What are those cool
Timberland?
boots? Yeah, Timberland.
Timberwolf?
Must be a Timberland that they
Steel
wore
boot,
in
yeah.
Jurassic
Steel toe.
Park because those are indestructible.
So I need to get a pair of those boots.
Remember
for
when they
sure.
became very popular in 1993 because
Timberlands?
They became super popular in 93 after Jurassic Park came out.
They were also like really popular to wear in New York, like part of hip hop culture. They're still popular to wear.
Well, I wanted a pair when I was in 3rd grade after I saw Jurassic Park because Ellie Sattler wore them with shorts and they looked really cool. I couldn't afford a pair of actual Timberlands, so I just got a pair from Payless. What else?
This basement.
Yeah.
There's like sloppy rags down there and leaking pipes and
It's a
swampy,
hazard.
it's hot.
And they actually have a person from the city, I guess, who comes over there to inspect it. And he's like, yes, this is a hazard. We cannot have people working down here. And Mr. Warwick pays him off with $200 and says, we need this in working order before next week, 4th of July holiday, which reminds me of Jaws.
Does it?
Yeah, because Warwick's kind of like the mayor where it's like, these beaches will be open for 4th of July. He's like, this mill will be operating during 4th of July.
That's what happens when you have your greed and 4th of July festivities coming up.
Yeah.
And you just need your project completed before 4th of July.
You need it completed on 4th of July. For
Yeah.
what reason? Who knows? Why 4th of July? It's a very curious holiday for this mill
Because
to be
it's our
operating.
nation's birthday.
There must be a reason why he is so hell-bent on things happening on the nation's birthday. I mean, not
like it has
only,
to do with the monster.
Right. That's
Oh,
what I'm
gotcha.
thinking. Not only is 4th of July like one of the few holidays that happens in like the blazing heat of summer, but it must be for other reasons besides it being so hot.
I see where your train of thought is coming
Yeah.
along here.
Should we kind of get into our predictions now?
Yes, Elise, what do you think is going to happen in the second half of this movie?
So where we left off, all these people are lining up for basement duty while others don't want to do basement duty, such as Nordello. While others, such as Jane, John, Carmichael, and the 2 bullies from the diner, they're all set to work basement duty during the 4th of July
For
holiday.
double pay.
For double pay. So my first prediction is that Nordello is going to die by this creature.
Ooh.
So soon after the break, Nordello is going to maybe get an invite from Warwick and be like, I'm sorry that I almost bashed your face in front of the whole town. I do want to have a romantic tryst with you. Meet me at the mill after dark.
It's always the little love letters that get them.
Yes. So she will. And she'll be like, Mr. Warwick, are you here? Hello. I brought my Jack Daniels and my coffee cup. He's not going to be there, but the bat creature will be, and it's going to eat her.
My prediction number 1 is that Nordello will be fed to this basement monster, which assumes that Warwick knows about this basement monster. So Nordello said, I know what's going on down there, and he doesn't acknowledge it. So that leads me to believe that he knows about this thing down there.
Yeah, she's like, I've seen the receipts for giant bat food. I know exactly what's down there, and you can't make me go down there. But you can trick me into a late night tryst. Prediction number 2, the 4th of July basement cleanup crew will include the 2 remaining diner buddies, and they will get chomped by the creature, leaving Jane, John, and Carmichael to fight for their lives in the basement.
Ooh, okay, I like that
3
one.
of them.
Yeah, those guys seem like they're basement monster fodder.
Yeah, the 2 bullies from the diner, they're definitely basement monster fodder. We're going to get kind of like a little tripod, kind of like an Assault on Precinct 13, where we have like Jane, John, and Carmichael trying to like fight for one another.
What if those 2 guys end up being the final dudes?
Ew. In 1990, there's no way.
I'm not predicting
Something
that.
like that might happen in like 2012 or something, but I can't see that
Trying to
happening.
be ironic
Edgy.
or trying
Yeah,
to be,
like the gross people live. Cool.
Yeah, all of the cast of characters from The Diner and Strangers, they all live.
They do.
Oh,
The Strangers remakes.
yeah. Prediction number 2, the rats will get revenge on Tucker. They're not going to kill him directly, but they're going to put him in some sort of situation where he is fed to the monster as well. So the rats kind of work with this monster.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
rats are going to get their revenge because he sucked out all of the rat buddies into the river and is like openly spraying them with poison.
Yeah,
like
he's really mean
yeah.
to them. Okay, so I have a prediction along those lines. I said that Tucker Cleveland is going to come out of nowhere to save the day, but ends up getting devoured by rats in a similar fashion to his monologue. His body will be splayed out in a Christ-like pose while the rats burrow into his body.
Interesting. Okay.
I do think that he will die by rats.
Interesting. Okay, I will save my comment on that for later. My third prediction is that John Hall will defeat the monster with a slingshot that is full of some sort of gasoline.
Petrol.
It's going to be like a flaming can of Pepsi.
Yes.
That's how he's going to
Petrol
kill
Pepsi.
the monster.
I have a prediction about Hall as well. Hall is going to reveal that he's not in town by mistake. He knew about the creature and has come to kill it. It or something like it killed his wife.
Interesting. Okay, I feel like that is a kind of far out there prediction. It wasn't like he was super adamant about getting to the basement. He seems like he just genuinely needs a job.
I just feel like, why of all towns would he drift into this town? It doesn't make sense. It's not like it has anything to offer that other towns don't. I'm sure other towns have jobs that offer crappy pay and crappy working conditions. Why this one?
I feel like it's just random. It's like John Rambo's just walk in and happens to be in some town. He's
Yeah,
like,
but
all right,
even
you got a
John-
burger?
Even John Rambo, if he got to this town, he'd be like, no, I'm
good.
gonna keep going to the next town that has a burger because these burgers are full of hair.
Well, he has to stay now because he's got that one hottie that's like into him. So.
Jane.
And he's going to get double pay.
He's gonna get double pay.
He's got a lot of
He's
incentives
gonna get
here.
double pay and maybe a date with Jane.
Yeah.
Cool.
My fourth one. So I counted these. Hold on. I made the mistake of giving 6 predictions
Last
in
time.
the last couple of times time. So I skipped one, actually. This is my prediction
Do
for
you
what.
not number these?
Yeah.
You do
But
not.
I have like terrible handwriting and there's things that are scratched
Got it.
out. And yeah. My next prediction, I feel like the basement monster is some sort of creature that has mutated from rat and bats as a side effect of the poison. I'm not feeling super confident on this prediction now that you started talking about like where your mind is going, but I'm going to go with mutation here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like
As
that.
opposed to like supernatural.
Tucker is so hell bent on like spraying all of these rats and they're getting shuttled into the river water. Maybe that turns into drinking water. I don't know.
So maybe it's a whole sort of comment on pollution.
And like cheap fixes such as just like pouring poison onto things that you don't like.
Yeah.
Well, my final
Whopper.
My final prediction, and possibly the Whopper, is that the creature is an ancient kind of vampire devil from hell because of the heat. And so it's the creature that is making this town so hot because it's literally from hell.
There's like a hell hole literally in the bottom of this factory.
Yes.
And this creature crawled up from hell.
It crawled up from hell on the nation's birthday or something. I don't know.
What does it have to do with the nation's birthday?
I don't think it actually has to do with the nation's birthday. It
it's
just
the
happens.
ghost of John Adams.
It could be the ghost of George Washington. I don't know.
Turned into some sort of mutant bat.
Yeah. And so this creature is in Gate Falls,
Gates
Maine.
Fall.
And it's just there to feed on society, and the rats are doing its bidding. And also Warwick made a deal with this demon bat devil.
A deal with the devil.
Yes, that he can have success in his mill as long as he provides the food.
I love that prediction.
Thank you. It kind of reminds me of the movie Little Bites, where it's like you have like this demon devil vampire in your basement and you have to keep feeding it.
Shout out to Spider-1, who's coming
Spider-1.
out with Big Baby.
Big Baby.
Excited for that one.
Spider-1's killing it.
This is why I like that prediction and why I was not feeling so great about my prediction. When you said the heat was affecting the town, all of that sort of stuff, I started thinking about, okay, these rats, they have a thirst for blood because we saw a little rat that's chewing on a blood cotton swab thing. They're perceived to be carnivorous. And that lead me to think about the story of Vlad the Impaler feeding off the blood of rats. We've seen this in many vampire movies. If this leans vampire, I would not be surprised. So I like that direction. Mine is more of like an environmental message. I don't feel as confident about that one.
You know, you never know.
Also, before I was staying mum on your story about the Vietnam story and the crucifixion being eaten from the inside out by rats. I think that death is going to be reserved for Warwick because that is such a cruel way to go. Awful. I feel like that has to go to the person who is the most evil. Warwick is clearly the most evil, and I predict that he will die by the rats devouring him, and the mill will go up in flames because our guy John, he's shooting flaming mows at the rats. Unfortunately, this is also going to end up killing the rat buddies. I feel like the whole factory is going to go up. It looks like a safety hazard.
The rats will escape through a hole in the walls and they will sail downriver to the next town.
Oh yeah, I like that. They kind of like crawl
and the
out.
whole thing will start all over again with the rat buddies in the next town. And they'll conjure up this ancient demon devil again and they'll start over again.
Ooh, okay.
They'll be like, oh, this heat wave is traveling across the nation in these unsuspecting places. We don't know why.
I lied. I do have a 6th prediction. This is a bonus prediction. Prediction number 6, the ultimate Whopper here. What's going to happen?
This?
No, I wrote it down.
You actually had a
but it's
5.
But it's a bonus. Yes, I wrote that down as 5, but I also misnumbered. Don't worry about my organization here. Here's my last bonus prediction. One rat buddy will survive and work with John Hall in like the style of that show, The Bear. Will get that cafe up to snuff into a Michelin-rated fine dining establishment.
This sounds more like Ratatouille.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
So
you
the
said
spin-off
in the
is
vein of that show, The Bear, but what you really mean is in the vein of that Disney Pixar movie, Ratatouille.
The reason why The Bear is because they take it so seriously where they're like, yes, chef, yes, chef. And this is going to be a really serious,
very serious Ratatouille.
Yeah, this is like diner rehab of that disgusting, gross diner that serves what is that? Clam chowder with
chunks
rat
of
fur.
hair. Yeah.
One of the dishes that was presented to John was literally like a 5-pound rat.
Well, that was as a joke from the bullies.
Yeah, but that's there's rats infesting
Like they just
that town.
grab that from the counter, like, oh, here you go, John.
Yeah, and they're probably eating rat stew too. They
Probably.
Yeah, the place is
I mean,
gross.
that would be resourceful if they are eating some of the rats.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason why I think that Tucker's going to get that death with like, you know, the rats eating him from the inside out is because he's the one trying to inflict all the pain on the rats. They need their vengeance too. Warwick is definitely going to die, but I think by the hands of this like bat demon devil.
So he's going to wrap him up in his demon wings and then just
like,
go back into the hellhole. And then boom, winter.
Winter.
Straight
it's
into
finally
misery.
cold.
And then it's misery, but with a rat instead of James Caan.
Kathy Bates kidnaps a rat,
Yeah.
ties
there you go.
it to a bed,
Yes.
hobbles its little tiny
Hobbles it.
feet.
That'd be sad.
Oh, that would be really sad.
So many directions that you can go in a movie, especially when you're hopped up on drugs, as Stephen King most likely was when he wrote
But
this.
we're the ones that came up with these ideas. And I will have you know, we are not hopped up on cocaine.
We
I
were
have
hopped up on
water
LaCroix.
in my Chucky glass in honor of Brad Dourif. Also, I am wearing my Bat Cat tank top and I have a moth necklace just to cover all of my
All animals, yes.
flying creature bases.
Yeah. Well, I love these predictions. If you are playing along, did we get this correct?
Are
did we
you
hit the nail on the head?
correct?
Are you correct?
Are you playing along?
Did you cheat? Yeah.
You would never.
Is anyone playing along?
Has anyone ever
If you are playing
played
along, please
Let
leave
us
an
know.
emoji. Put like the little director snap, you know, those little, what do you call
clack,
those?
The clacker things.
Yeah, put the clack.
Yeah. Has anyone out there ever played along with us with these movies? Like, have you ever actually watched half of these movies and try to guess with us? Because it's fun. Come on, do it. Anyway. Is that a squeak? Where's that coming from?
There's rats. Okay, we got to get out of here and watch the second half.
Oh my God.
There's
How
rats.
did you do
Our
that?
place is infested.
Let's go surfing now, everybody's running out. Come on, it's the party beat. Come on, it's the party. Early in the morning, we'll be starting now. Some honeys will be making a scene. I loaded up my woody with the boards on top, and I put on my baby blue jeans.
And we are back. We just finished Graveyard Shift from 1990.
Graveyard shift.
When's the last time you've been to a graveyard? We got a lot wrong.
When we left off in Graveyard Shift, we had Hall and Jane and they were having a home-cooked meal. Right after that scene, we have Nordello, and she is snooping around the office at night, finds evidence that could shut the mill down. Unfortunately, no one will ever know since she clumsily falls down the stairs on her own accord and is opportunistically devoured by rats and the mysterious creature.
And I just want to touch on this really fast. This was both, I feel like, one of our first predictions that Nordello would die, but we didn't know that she would die because she's mostly clumsy.
She was hitting the jack pretty hard, so
She was hitting
makes
the
sense.
Jack Daniels.
She was drunk. Do
Hitting
not
the
drink
whiskey.
and snoop. It's going to lead to bad things,
Do not drink and snoop in the dark and then try to go downstairs.
especially if there's a giant bat rat.
That's going to get you. Yeah. So she really tripped down the stairs. She probably would have died anyway because no one was going to be around to find her for a long time. And the rats were going to do their best to clean up her blood. And then the opportunistic creature, the rat bat, ate her. I mean, we did get it right that she died, but not the how. And then cut to the basement cleanup crew. John Hall, Jane, Carmichael, Brogan, and Danson and Ibsen are all having a whale of a time blasting rats with the fire hose until Warwick admonishes their foolish antics and forces them back to their futile tasks.
Somehow, shell-shocked Brogan is put in charge of the fire hose and he continues blasting rats, slats, and coworkers until Ibsen speaks up. We're not damn exterminators. Fortunately for him, Ibsen's discontent gets him kicked off of the crew permanently.
Yeah, Warwick's like, punch out your time card permanently. And he does. And he gets to survive, I guess. Cut to a battle between Warwick and Tucker Cleveland to see who can upstage who. A couple bug eyes and questionable accents later, Tucker and his trusty rat terrier Moxie head to the graveyard.
In the graveyard, Moxie quickly goes missing and Tucker gets a full face of coffin. He sinks below the muddy surface, leaving nothing but a trail of blood. mud.
Back in the basement, our crew finds an even deeper basement. The whole crew, including Warwick, descend and Brogan somehow stumbles into an even deeper level. Our crew is finally met with our mysterious creature. It devours Brogan and drags him away. Our team splits up. John and Jane take to the Bloody River. Carmichael and Danson head for the tunnels, and Warwick kind of follows after, covering his face with oil to camouflage.
Soon after Carmichael and Danson are chomped, Jane and John discover the creature's feeding ground, and Warwick is fully unhinged. Jane and John try to help until Warwick slaps John around with discarded skeletons and fatally stabs Jane in the gut.
No! Warwick flees and comes face to face with the monster. It's a giant rat bat. Not one to back down from a fight, Warwick leaps onto the creature, tries to bite it, but it's not a match for the jaws of a mutated rat bat. Warwick is chomped, giving John a chance to get to higher ground.
John makes it to the picker room, safe until the rat bat comes crashing through, ready for one last meal. But its long tail gets entangled in the machine, and John finally gets to use his stupid slingshot to launch an empty Diet Pepsi can at the power button.
Success! The machine whirs and the creature is pressed into a pulpy cotton mess. The end. Unless you count the credits in one of the weirdest theme songs ever recorded. Not available on Spotify.
The graveyard shift. When's the last time you've been to a graveyard? The graveyard shift. When's the last time?
Okay, I wanted to just touch on a couple of the very obvious things that as soon as we stopped recording the first half, I was just like, oh shit. I forgot to mention in the opening credits, we see that this mill is located directly above or next to a graveyard.
Yeah, nice,
and it looks
murky,
like a
foggy graveyard.
Yeah, it looks very swampy. It looks like a bog, which is why I think when we watched the first half, we were thinking that this movie took place in the South because it looked really swampy.
It did look swampy.
Yeah. The second thing is they spent so much time focusing on this big, beautiful chomping mill machine, the thing that's like separates the cotton from the twigs or whatever.
Yeah.
Of course, they were going to use that in the final set piece.
Yeah.
And I think my prediction was like that he's going to defeat him with a flaming can of Pepsi. And then I was just like, oh, man.
I mean, you got the can of Pepsi correct. It was a Diet Pepsi that really saved the day.
Yeah.
So if he didn't have his dumb little Dennis the Menace slingshot handy, then he never would have survived, I guess. But yeah, the picker machine had to have been in the final showdown for sure.
Exactly. I want to quickly hear your thoughts about the second half.
I realized that my predictions were pretty much all wrong, with the exception of Nordello dying. I mean, she definitely died. But yeah, 4th of July was not really a big thing. I thought there was going to be some big like...
You're reading hard into that. I just thought that 4th of July was there to tell you that it's hot. That's it.
I thought it was going to be like, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Sarah Michelle Gellar death scene style. Like all of the deaths and screams are going to coincide with fireworks. And that's why the townsfolk are not going to know that everyone's dying inside the mill because of the fireworks. But no, really nothing comes of this 4th of July holiday except for the fact that it is in the smack middle of summer and it's hot.
And they do play up this fact that Warwick seems like he knows what's going on the whole time. Even up until the point where he sees the creature, it's like, does he know about this creature?
Right.
Does he know about this whole underground cavern that just goes down levels and levels, like hundreds of feet? It really felt like the descent at a certain point.
It really
It's like, how far down does this go? There's rivers and all kinds of stuff.
It seemed like he had to have known about it, especially when Nordello was bashing the crap out of his car. She's like, I know things. What do you know, Nordello? All she knew was that the mill was going to get shut down. That's literally all
because
she
of
knew.
rat infestation.
Because of the infestation, which was pretty obvious. So
Yeah.
it's not like they were hiding that from anybody.
Yeah.
But
I will say that I enjoyed the atmosphere of the movie. It had, just like we were saying before, it is just really kind of dank and sweaty and hot.
Yeah.
And then it's almost like a ragtag crew. And I feel like that is always a good choice in horror movies.
yeah, like Carnosaur 2, fun.
I was even
Aliens?
thinking like Alien. Yeah, I was thinking it had like an Alien or Aliens type feel to the movie. Everyone's in these really cool like burnt orange onesies.
Yes,
We were
these
joking
nice
around. It's
jumpsuits.
like they look like they're from Big Bud Press.
Yeah, they were having a great time. They were bonding. exploding. Brogan was going full PTSD with his, I don't know, fire hose blasting rats. And that is one of my favorite scenes is after we pressed play and after Nordello dies, we get that fun, like little like Surf City USA Beach Boy song.
Yeah, it's like the let's go surfing now. Da, 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 da. Yeah.
And all the rats are on like their floating pieces of wood floating around. It looks like they're having a great time until Brogan blasts them with a fire hose.
Yeah, I did see that these were trained swimming rats.
Yeah.
And they were very specifically for that purpose.
For water
No
play?
rats were harmed.
That's good.
I know rats are intelligent creatures, but it is pretty amazing how they choreographed all these rats.
They're so cute. And we did watch a little featurette of the character or the actor that played Ibston. He kept saying how adorable these rats were.
I mean, they were adorable.
They're so cute. And he's like, there's a scene when they're in the basement and he finds this secretary piece of furniture and he opens it up, but it only opens up like a few inches. And so he has to shove his arm in. He said they had to cover his arm in peanut butter so the rats would like, get on his arm, and he was supposed to act really scared, but he's like, they're just so cute.
For you New Yorkers out there, these were West Coast rats, which is probably why they're cute. Because I have heard from some New Yorkers that the rats
6 feet tall,
maybe closer to the rat bat that we saw at the
closer.
end.
So the rat bat was more of a New Yorker rat, while the other cute ones that they had to make look scary. The actress that played Jane, Kelly Wolfe, she said that she actually does have a legitimate fear of rats, and so taking this role for her was a big deal. So she was really, really proud of the fact that she was able to conquer her fear of the rats. She said her grandma wouldn't even watch the movie because her grandma has an intense fear of rats.
Yeah, and we were thinking that's probably not the reason why grandma didn't want to watch the movie.
Didn't want to watch.
That's her excuse.
Sorry, dear. I have an intense fear of rats. I cannot watch Graveyard Shift.
Yeah, if you're wondering about these tidbits too, they're all coming from actor interviews that as part of the bonus content in the Kino Lorber Blu-ray 4K that we got, which is awesome. That's one of the things I do love about 4K, paying the extra money really for all of the bonus content.
Yeah, so buy the physical media.
I want to know how we did in this. I was feeling less confident about my predictions, but it actually turns out that my predictions were decent.
Well, my number one prediction was that Nordella would die by the creature. She did die by the creature. I mean, she fell down the stairs first, but we can assume that the creature ate her while she was still alive because she screamed. But I did have, in addition to that prediction, was that she'll get a message to meet Warwick for sexy apology time, but it's a trap. That did not happen. So I'm going to give myself half a point.
I mean, would she have fallen for that after he busted up the car? I think at that point, the relationship's over.
Well,
right?
whatever. Okay, I'm just going to give myself half a point and call it good.
I put that Nordello would be fed to the monster because it did seem like Warwick knew about the monster.
It did.
Yeah.
Up until he saw the monster, when he looked obviously shocked to see the monster, we're like, oh, he actually didn't know. He was just acting creepy for no reason.
And
It's
also
just
sending people to their death, and also like knowing that people did not return from their shift, and he just was okay with it.
he just didn't care.
People just died. There were a lot of bones down there. How many people have gone missing in this town?
It was a pretty crappy jump. So I think he's probably assuming, well, another person quit. Who cares? On to the next one.
He's like, man, I keep hiring drifters and they keep leaving after a day.
Yeah, he was just a creepy man.
My number 2 prediction was that the rats would get revenge on Tucker. And no, that didn't happen. He just went to the graveyard and then just kind of
Got
like
smashed in the face
slipped
by a coffin.
It really was a work accident. It wasn't any sort of thing that got him, which is so unfortunate
and
for
that's
that
how
character.
Nordello died also. Pretty
Yeah.
much like work accidents. Call OSHA.
I know.
Where's
This job
OSHA?
is terrible. It's not worth minimum wage. Do not work at this mill.
No, not work $1.50
No.
an hour. Kind of piggybacking off of that, I had this prediction that Tucker Cleveland would come out of nowhere to kind of like Deus Ex Machina, save the day, but then get devoured by the rats in the same vein as his monologue, where like the rats would eat him from the inside out.
Yeah.
That did not happen. I was very disappointed in
I was
the
going
way
to
that
say
Tucker Cleveland
that
died.
sounds like a Starship Troopers ending where the
Yeah.
guy's like coming out shooting. He's like, you're
Come
dead,
and
you're
get
dead,
me,
you're dead. Yeah.
And then he dies. So Tucker Cleveland did not go out in a blaze of glory. He did just get smashed in the face. And so did his dog Moxie, just died off screen. And then he just
Just
kinda,
sunk in the bog or
He sunk
something.
into the mire and never to be
a
heard
sad
from
way,
again.
yeah.
I had a prediction. The 4th of July basement cleanup crew comprised of Brogan and Danson, along with Jane, Hall, and Carmichael, would fight for their lives in the basement.
That's pretty accurate.
They did fight for their lives.
The fact that you selected all of those people to be part of this final showdown was probably your best guess.
That was my best guess. And I did not even include Ibsen because I did not know Ibsen was going to even be there until he showed up. And I was like, oh, well, I'm glad he left partway through because he was not part of my final showdown.
Well, my next prediction was also my best prediction. And it was that the basement monster would be a mutated rat bat. As a side effect of the poison, we really never got an explanation. I should mention, we did now both read the short story. It's only 13 pages.
We did it.
So it is worth reading. The short story sort of implies that the rat bat mutated because it had been living underground for so long that nature kind of was not present at those depths.
Yeah, nature found a way. And in the depths of this basement, the further along they get in the short story, they start to discover mutated rats and bats and rats that have no legs, and then a giant rat that has no legs and possibly can fly.
Well, it's kind of evolved from its situation. In a cave, it can't see, there's no light. In a way, it is like The Descent.
It is kind of like The Descent.
Because how did those creatures get down there? They sort of evolved to adapt to their situation.
Right. Was Neil Marshall inspired by the Stephen King short story? Interesting.
Whenever we have even the loosest connection to two movies, yeah.
Okay, so I had a prediction that the creature is an ancient kind of vampire devil from hell because of the heat.
And honestly, I love that prediction because it's like the gates of hell.
Right.
And we're right next to a cemetery.
Yeah.
So everything about that prediction, I think, would have actually made this movie better.
I think that would have been cool because we're in Maine. And I just thought, well, how hot does Maine get? I've only been to Maine once. It was extremely cold. So I just thought Maine must be a pretty cold state in general. How hot could it possibly be getting? It must be on top of a hellmouth. No, it was not. And then continuing with that prediction, I also had that Warwick had made a deal with the rat bat vampire. He wanted success in his mill in exchange for free food for the devil.
Like an Audrey 2 kind of thing.
Yeah, that did not happen. None of that happened. Big fat zero.
If this was a Lucio Fulci film, that would have happened 100%.
That would have happened.
Yeah. My next prediction was that Warwick will die by the rats devouring him and the mill will go up in flames, also killing the rat buddies. Didn't I have something about... Oh, my next, because I'm out of order here. My organization is failing a little bit. I'm just kind of writing things
You
and
need a pen
scratching things
so
out.
you can cross things out.
A pencil?
Something so you can cross it out as it goes along.
They're not really in any order.
I know mine aren't either, but I'm crossing things out as I move along.
Okay, so Hall will defeat the monster with a flaming can of Diet Pepsi. That was my next prediction.
You actually said Diet Pepsi?
Well, because that's what he was slinging around was Diet Pepsis. Wow. He had no other drink down there. It wasn't like a selection of Sprite.
Half a point because he does defeat the monster with a Diet Pepsi can.
He hits the button on the machine.
On the picker machine.
Can I call it Ratma?
Ratma.
If you've seen VHS, what is that?
VHS.
94?
One of the 90s VHS installments has a Ratma.
I'm pretty sure it's 94.
Ratma. My last prediction was a Whopper, and it's pretty much a 0, but I had that John Hall would reveal that he's not in town by mistake. He knew about the creature and has come to kill it. Maybe it killed his wife. No. He had no idea. He's just a drifter and ended up in Gates Falls, Maine for some reason.
He's like some Slayer. You had this whole Buffy vibe going on.
I did.
Here,
They're near the Hellmouth. John Hall is a Slayer.
And Brogan is Willow.
Brogan is Willow.
Or maybe what's the other guy? Dugan? No, it's the other.
Danson?
Danson is Willow.
Danson is more like a Spike.
Jane. Wisconsin would be Angel.
Jane would be Angel.
I still like Brogan as Willow. I think that's pretty good. All right. That brings my score up to 2.25.
Nice. Okay. I have 1.5. So you are the winner of the graveyard.
Yes, I feel like my proudest moment was that the basement monster was a mutated rat bat.
That was good.
Which was the most obvious.
It was very obvious. I don't know why I didn't guess that. I thought devil vampire.
They weren't really trying to trick us here. It's like the most obvious thing was the thing that it was.
Okay. So
my last prediction. One rat buddy will survive and we'll have a ratatouille meets
That
the
was your
bear.
joke prediction. That can be your second kidney.
Can someone direct part 2 so they can? Oh yeah, the second kidney.
Second kidney.
Dang it! Why did I not put that for the second kidney?
Goodness. So we'll just
This
have it
sucks.
known
I'm
that when
outta
we
here.
get to the Gutted Awards, Tony's second kidney will go to a rat buddy in a Ratatouille type situation.
Except I'm going to make one minor tweak, and I'll let you know what that is once we get to the
right.
awards. Number 3 will surprise you.
Number 3 will surprise you. Stay tuned, guys. Don't turn this off yet, please.
It is really interesting listening to the actors talk about this film that they'd made such a long time ago, 1990.
Because I'm fixated on this one screen that I saw pop up on your computer. Can we just talk about that tidbit really fast?
Yeah. So we were going through the cast list. Most of the smaller named cast members don't have an IMDb photo, but one did that really stuck out.
Stood out.
I'll let you say it because I
That
think you were the
person-
one who found it.
I was like, what? Richard France is a mill worker?
And for those of you who do not know Richard France, he is the TV host in the original Dawn of the Dead.
The
George
guy
Romero's
wearing an
with
eye
the
patch.
And they're talking about the situation, and he has that really sort of theatrical,
Very theatrical. It is the end of the world.
He's also the scientist in Crazies.
Yes, he's the lead scientist that's about to find the cure to crazy in the original Crazies when he drops it clumsily like Nordello.
But in Graveyard Shift, he is an extra in the background of a bar scene.
And we're just like, where is he? We had to go back and watch the entire movie over again, pausing whenever we saw a big group of people. But we did find him in the diner, that nasty diner, and he's sitting in the same booth that Ibsen is sitting in with another
Which makes
lady.
sense because Ibsen is also very theatrical in
Yes.
his acting style and just his personality in the movie.
And you can see Richard France in this scene at the diner when I think Brogan and Danson are like making some jokes about John Hall. Richard France actually does turn and look disgusted with what the actors are saying. I'm like, oh, good acting, extra. As Richard France would. He would never be off. He would always be on in front of the camera. So
I guess, someone could possibly ask him about that. He's still alive. He's 88 years old. He was born on May 5th, 1938.
I wonder if he knows the director, and the director's like, hey, can you come be an extra just in this diner scene for me? And he's like, yes, of course I will. And I will act the crap out of this extra work. And he did. Oh, and Danson apparently married one of the mill workers shortly after filming. And Danson we'll later see in Wishmaster 1 and 2 as the main Wishmaster.
Yeah, he's the Djinn.
He's the Djinn.
I did not recognize him at all.
After you told me that he was the Djinn in Wishmaster, I immediately placed his face and thought, yes, that is him. Interesting. And the director said that he originally wanted Andrew Divoff as the role of John Hall because he was starting out and he had like this dark, gritty quality about him. But then he was overridden by the producers who wanted David Andrews as John Hall. And they definitely have different acting styles. So David Andrews had more of like this stoic but kind aura about him, whereas Andrew Divoff had kind of like an unpredictable, darker quality about him. And I do like him as the character of Danson. I think he does a great job being kind of like snarky in the background, and then his freak out moment towards the end where he's like, no more, no more, no more. But I feel like Andrew Divoff would have conveyed more of a performance similar to the John Hall in the short story.
Yeah, I think you're right. And good thing we read that. Because the short story does have a little bit different of a tone.
It does.
In the short story, the rats are more of the enemies.
Yeah. They're not so cute in the story.
I know. In this one, they are cuter.
Yeah. And in the story, John Hall, he is a drifter and he does, he was a short order cook in Florida and he was a college boy. He went to Berkeley and he kind of traveled across the country doing odd jobs. It didn't ever say that he was married or not, but he does have more of a darker quality about him. He's more menacing. He's kind of a bit psychotic in a way. And I could really see Andrew Divoff pulling that off if he were to have that role as John Hall.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of saw it as the actions or the situation in which he's put in, and this is true for the story or the movie, is what drives the characters to their madness.
Is it the heat? Is
it's
it
a
the
combination
rats?
of all that. It's just like the movie takes place in such a claustrophobic and dank, sweaty, smelly setting that really is the thing that drives everyone's actions. They're
Yeah.
they're tired, they're overworked,
They're
they have
uncomfortable.
they have an awful boss.
Yeah.
They're asked to do a shit job on the 4th of
For
July.
low pay. I mean, it is double pay though.
And they keep falling through these gates of hell.
Yeah. Getting
into
deeper and deeper.
the next abyss to then the next, like how far down does that building go?
That's
and
true.
also like what is all that stuff that's down there? Is that like an old abandoned cathedral or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's caverns, there's a catacomb kind of thing, but there's also all this architecture down there.
Yeah,
There's like, it looks like steeples.
it does. And I found that interesting in one of the featurettes. Someone said that when you get in the depths of this basement, it's actually like a painting from the art director. They had to actually paint this
They
background.
painted out a cave.
They painted out a
essentially.
cave.
It's like the Ratma's lair.
Yes.
With the bone temple, giant pyramid of bones. That's the other thing I was thinking of was, did no one notice all of these missing bodies? I mean, maybe there are a lot of animal bones in there, deer or, whatever.
Well, they were hidden because they're dragged down to the dark, murky depths by Ratma.
There's so much blood down there that the rivers underground
river
are
of
all
blood. Just like the descent.
yeah. Maybe the Ratma is eating the corpses that are being buried. So it's
It
like
is,
fresh
and-
corpses.
and it's staining.
Oh, you think that's what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, then that would explain why there's so many bones.
So many bones because the Ratma has to come to the surface to get some people fodder.
Easier to get people who are already like getting buried in the grave.
I feel like Ratma preys upon the ones who are by themselves or the ones that get injured, such as Nordello, who breaks her back falling down the stairs. And he's like, great, easy pickings.
Yeah, so Ratma's more opportunistic.
Ratma's very opportunistic.
Yeah, there's also no other counterpart to Ratma. There's no family.
That we know
so
of.
that makes sense why the creature would be somewhat apprehensive, because if it dies, that's it.
My lineage. Yeah, Ratma's really concerned about its lineage.
Yeah, what's the life cycle like?
Well, very similar to Tremors. We've been coursing through all the Tremors movies. There are at least 4 life cycles of this Ratma. You have the rat, and then it turns into rat bat, and then it turns into giant rat bat, and then it loses all of its limbs eventually.
It lays eggs
Lays
for some reason.
eggs.
Yeah. We'll get into that later. That's for a later episode where
That we might do about Tremors and the
cover
entire
Tremors.
franchise.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Another key difference between the short story and the movie is that there's no Jane Wisconski in the story. There is a Wisconsi, but he's kind of an oafish male that's clumsy and lazy.
Yeah, Wisconsin is the Brogan character.
Wisconski is kind of the Brogan. And so there's no romantic angle. There really are no females in the short story. So I do appreciate that they did have a character like Jane in the movie. And when Kelly Wolfe was interviewed, she did say that, Jane is kind of, she was a trailblazer for the time. You didn't have heroines in horror movies like that at the time that could have the same job that the men have and be asked to do the same things that all the men are doing. And she is not a final girl. She's actually slain in a really brutal way.
Yeah.
In a way that I feel like a male character would have been killed.
They don't really harp on the fact that she's a lady. She just has that job. She doesn't really have any hesitations about doing the labor or the fight, anything like that.
Right. And she is sexually harassed by the boss. And she does exchange one brief kiss with John towards the end. But I feel like that was more of like, we're about to die. I just want to have one quick connection because I'm going to die. Then she dies. Oh, well.
Okay, the next thing that we need to talk about before we get into any other tidbits or awards or anything is the performances by both Brad Dourif and by Stephen Macht, who plays Warwick, and Brad Dourif plays the Exterminator. To me, these were stronger than the lead. John Hall and Jane weren't the standouts of this movie.
Even though I think they were the leads, technically, they didn't feel like the leads.
Brad Dourif, he comes in so hard. We did talk about this in the first half. He has that insane monologue, and just like his acting style, it hooks you, it sucks you in.
Yeah.
You can't help but not be entranced by whatever he's doing on screen.
He just has these piercing eyes, piercing blue eyes that always look like they're on the verge of crying for whatever reason. You don't even quite know why he's crying. He just is. And it's not a cry that is a sign of weakness. You almost feel afraid when he's crying at you. Like, what? He's so unhinged. What are these tears? Where are they coming from?
And it is a bummer that he he died in the way that he did.
I know.
It's like that character could have done so much more.
I really wanted him to come back. When he sank below the coffin, I thought, okay, now maybe he like fell into a deeper level and he'll pop up later.
He's in that floating coffin when they're
He's
floating
in the
down
coffin.
the river.
He's like, oh, motherfuckers. And that's another thing. Like, he has such a way of delivering motherfucker that you feel like so afraid when he says it. It's so emphatic.
A lot of the cast were saying that when he came on set, they were completely in awe by his skills.
Yeah, Kelly Wolf says she showed up to set even though she wasn't filming that day just to watch Brad Dourif. The director, Ralph S. Singleton, said in an interview that he didn't think he could get Brad Dourif, but somebody said, well, just meet with him, just talk to him. And so he had Brad go to his house and they just hung out by the pool and chatted, and Brad's like, yep, I'll do it. And I was just like, dang, this guy was...
He was saying yep to everything that year.
He said yes to everything. He was like 5 things, 5 features, not just like a little commercial here and there.
Maybe he's trying to pay off student loans or something. Even though those didn't exist at the time.
They were not as bad back then.
Yeah. Okay, then Stephen Macht as Warwick. When I was first watching this guy, I was kind of thinking, okay, he's a little bit over the top. But he kind of grew into the movie and he is almost the standout character of
He's
the
kind
movie.
of the heart of the film.
Yeah.
You take away this performance, whether you think it's over the top or not, whether you like the accent or not, it is the film.
Yeah. He put in the work. He put in the research. He had a dialect coach.
Yeah, he got a dialect coach.
We found out
Maine.
that this is a Maine accent. We couldn't figure it out. We're like, is this
it Creole?
Yeah.
Is it German? Like a descendant of Germany somewhere? And then it mixed in with New England?
Yeah.
But no, he hired a dialect coach from Maine. And even some lines I think he tweaked because the dialect coach said, no, we wouldn't say that. And so there was something that Stephen Macht said. There was a line that was like, oh, it's really messy down here. And the dialect coach said, we wouldn't say that. We would say, this hasn't been touched since Christ was a kid. And Stephen Macht was just like, how could you not say that? How could you not put that into the script?
Yeah.
And so he did. And I guess, according to Stephen Macht, he thinks that, many of the actors did not really appreciate his method because I think he was going a bit.
He was going for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was going for it. He's biting the rat monster.
He bit the rat monster. Yeah. And
that was not in the script.
His final showdown, he said, similar to Jaws, the rat monster wasn't working. So he had to wrap his own arm into the rat's wing and cover himself with his own arm covered by the rat wing. And then he just bit it as he was going down into the depths of the basement with this rat monster. And he said that he could hear Stephen King off screen, who had been there that day for filming. And he was like, what? He bit the monster. Macht bit the monster.
It grew on me. At first I didn't like it, but by the end of the movie, I loved it.
You have to applaud any bold decisions like that, whether or not you think they land. It was bold.
The other thing too is he's playing the boss from hell. But the thing about this boss is that he's not just barking orders and then he pieces out. He's there with them in the trenches. He's like breathing down their necks so hard that there were some scenes where he just popped out of nowhere.
Like, where'd he come from?
Back to work.
Breaks over.
Yeah. We're like, where did he come from?
He's a good boss, He kind of reminded me of Quint from Jaws.
I was going to mention that because you were trying to figure out his accent. And you're like, it sounds like a Quint accent.
Yeah.
As far as a Stephen King adaptation, where does this lie on your scale?
I mean, I haven't.
Is this at the level of no, I'm just saying as the movie. Is this at the level of Carrie and Misery, or is it a Christine? Is it a Cujo?
If I'm gonna be honest, out of the ones that I've seen, it might be near the bottom. And I'm not including any of the recent adaptations. Like I know Pet Sematary has been redone, and I know Carrie has been redone a few times. If I'm counting the original adaptations, like Carrie from the 70s, and Pet Sematary Graveyard Shift probably comes down a hair below Pet Sematary from 1989, but above Carrie
the Shining.
Okay, the thing is, here's my secret. I have a hard time watching The Shining. It's a great movie.
It's one of the greatest movies ever made.
According to many people, it is technically a good movie, but I have a hard time watching it with that lens or that objective lens, because of like knowing the hell that Shelley Duvall was put through by Kubrick.
Got you. Okay.
So it's one of those almost like a Rosemary's Baby kind of a movie where it's like technically really good, but I have a hard time watching it thinking, I like this movie because of the history attached to it. You know, I typically just leave that one out.
Getting back to the adaptations of Stephen King films, I would say it's maybe around Christine, Cujo, but maybe like below that, just slightly. There have been so many adaptations.
So many.
There have been a lot of bad ones.
I would put Cujo above Graveyard Shift.
Yeah.
Christine, maybe it's on par with Christine for me. I would say.
I mean, Christine is pretty awesome though.
Christine is cool, but for me, there are several things that are similar to Graveyard Shift in that, like, I was really excited for the first half of Graveyard Shift and Christine. And then when we get to the latter half, that's where my fervor dies down a little bit.
I didn't see like, what is it, Dark Tower?
What about The Carrie with Chloe Grace Moretz?
I'm talking about like the OGs, not
That's
any of
what
the
I'm
remakes.
saying. That's what I'm saying. So I feel like Graveyard Shift is on par with something like Christine and above the remakes of the adaptations.
Yeah, there's so many. Okay, here's one that it could probably be on par with. Sleepwalkers from 1992.
Oh, I kind of like that one though.
And I feel like it's similar with Graveyard Shift. I kind of like this one. I don't know. I'd have to rewatch Sleepwalkers to kind of see, but it's in that sort of area. There's another one, Thinner from 96. I
never
used to love
seen
that one.
I never saw Thinner.
Silver Bullet. Didn't you watch Silver Bullet?
Yeah, that one's a good one.
That's the thing, is there have been so many wonderful Stephen King adaptations that, I think Graveyard Shift would probably fall near the bottom, but it's not the worst.
Right. Just because it's near the bottom doesn't mean that it's terrible.
And it's good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, that's enough of that ranking. Maybe we'll do an episode of Stephen King.
And just because we're already in this realm, I'm just gonna say my Letterboxd ranking right now. I would give it like a 3.5 because I enjoy several things about it, but it's not quite enough for me to be like, you know what, this is a staff pick for me.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. It's like a 3.5. It's one that is probably under the radar a little bit, but if you're a Stephen King fan, you're definitely going to enjoy this.
Before we get into the Gutted Awards, it did receive one actual award nomination.
Did it?
Yes.
An Academy Award?
No. It received a nomination for the 1991 Fantasporto. It's an international fantasy film award. It got nominated for Best Film, but lost to Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. And we were like, wait, didn't that come out in the 80s? In the US, it came out in the 80s, but it came out internationally in 1990 and even more so in 1991.
All right. Very interesting tidbit about some random award show. It looks like anyone could give out awards, including us. So let's do that. Let's give out some awards.
All right, Tony.
So it's now been nominated for 2 awards, a Gutted Horror Award and...
Well, it was nominated for another fantasy award, but I didn't put it down.
Even more random?
It was a little bit more random.
Okay.
Tony, what do you give your Axe Award to for the movie Graveyard Shift? The axe, something that you would get rid of.
I have a tie, and these are axes that will actually add something in. First, I'm giving the axe to the exterminator's death. He deserved better than that. He deserves some sort of final showdown. Almost like Brogan going off with the little... with like the water hose. I'm
kind of picturing like in the remake of Dawn of the Dead, the character that gets blown up, or he like blows himself up and goes fucking figures.
Yeah,
boom.
Something like that, definitely. Mm-hmm. And then Richard France as an extra. Like he needs a speaking role in this.
Opportunity.
Yeah.
He definitely would have done the main accent.
Yeah, he is horror royalty.
He is.
All right, Elise, what are you giving your Axe Award to?
Okay, pretty similar to yours, actually. I don't have a tie, although I do like your Richard France nod. My axe does go to Tucker Cleveland, aka the Exterminator's death scene. Awful. He should not have gone out that way, just slapped in the face by a coffin and then sunk into the mire. Boring. I did want him to go out in a big blaze of showy glory in the way that Brad Dourif could most definitely pull off.
Missed opportunity.
Missed opportunity.
Our next award is for the first aid kit. What character would you bring back from the dead from Graveyard Shift?
Doris the Rat.
Doris the Rat.
Because it was so sad when that guy, I think his name was Reed, picked her up by the tail. He's like, "You're no lady, Doris," because she peed on his chair. And when he held her in front of the picker machine, she reached out her little arms like, no, don't do it. And so in my version, he tosses her in. And after we think that she dies, but then after he gets chomped and mutilated by the picker machine, then she pops it, goes, dusts her hair off. And she's okay. And we know somehow it's her because she has some like distinguishing like birthmark or something. We're like, oh, there's Doris. She's okay. That's who
All
gets
right,
my first aid kit.
that's sweet. Maybe
Thank
Doris
you.
can participate in my second kidney. All right, my first aid kit award goes to Jane Wisconsin because, like, why did she have to die like that? That was kind
know.
of sad. It's kind of out of
like
nowhere.
she was gutted
Yeah.
pretty brutally too, because they find Warwick under this pile of bones, and John and Jane both go to help him, and they're like, "Oh no, are you okay?" And then he gets all maniacal, all shell shocked, and then it starts beating on John with some bones. And Jane actually comes up behind to help instead of standing in the background helpless. She comes up behind and tries to grab Warwick and pull him off of John, and he turns around and stabs her in the stomach and then pulls up. So you know that she's a goner.
That was pretty sad. And
Super
also, yeah, very
brutal.
shocking.
Yeah.
Next award is for the second kidney award. What character, living or dead, gets a spin-off, sequel, prequel, reboot, remake, anything like that?
Obviously, Tucker Cleveland as the exterminator. And maybe he has a spinoff where he pairs up. I think I might have said this in the first half,
With a
but
rat
well,
in a Ratatouille / the bear
but
situation.
he hates rats so much. So for him to pair up with a rat, that would have to be like a season
It's the
2.
Odd Couple.
It's a season 2 situation for that show. You know, like he's got a whole TV series where he hates rats the whole time. And then in season 2, kind of like in Buffy, you know, where it's like Buffy ends up liking Spike when
Yes.
she hated Spike the whole time. But with Tucker, it's like he hates rats the whole time. And then he
But
meets
that's the
Doris.
thing. You need to learn to reconcile with your demons.
Yeah, but he can't start off the show liking rats. He starts off the show hating them, and then he learns that he likes them. And he does pair up with John Goodman from Arachnophobia at one point. There's like a crossover, and they're
I
trying
really
to,
think this could work in a The Bear style
in a
mini
restaurant.
series mini series.
Like they come in trying to save the restaurant from
the mini series is
disaster.
called Ratatouille 2: The Bear Graveyard Shift. Just to cover all of our bases, starring John Goodman, did I say starring
John
God?
Godman.
Starring God. John Goodman.
We got an all-star cast. Brad Dourif and
a
God.
rat and Brad Dourif. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Is that your second kidney too?
Yeah. Thanks for helping me come up with
Yes.
that. Yeah.
So we collaborated
yeah.
on this.
We're going to start
Confirmed.
filming this right after
Immediately.
we end this episode.
Gonna dress our cats up as little rats. Adorable.
They'll love it. All right. Our next award is for the Best Intestine Award. Elise.
Oh, really quick. Okay, so with this second kidney, Ralph S. Singleton actually did say that he felt like the exterminator, Brad Dourif as the exterminator, could be his own spin-off show. So he kind of thought of it for us.
He confirmed it for us.
Confirmed it.
I mean, we were all thinking it.
We're all thinking it,
Yeah.
obviously. Yeah.
Okay, so moving along to our Best Intestine Award. Elise, what gets the best, saddest, or most gut-wrenching death in Graveyard Shift?
Well, I already gave an award to Doris the rat, so she doesn't get another one because she's coming back with the first aid kit. My best intestines go to Warwick because he wrapped himself up in that rat bat body and then bit it as he went down. You could just tell that was improv. Like no one directed him to bite this rat bat creature. He just did it because it seemed like that's something Warwick would do.
If you go out biting, you're going to get a Best Intestine.
Yeah, I could definitely see Quint going out trying to bite Jaws if he could get close enough to his face. Yeah.
All right. I'm giving my Best Intestine Award to Ratma,
Ratma.
who got this glorious crushing death in that giant cotton
And the
mill.
giant picker. Yeah.
The picker with that giant machine. And
That's
it
a
was
good one.
gory, it was bloody.
It was pulpy and cottony. It was a lovely visual of having like all the cotton balls stained red. Nice. All right. Your silver gut, Tony. What element would you say is the second best for the entire movie?
I'm not going to say, I'm going to sing it for you.
Oh, gosh.
The Graveyard Shift. The Graveyard Shift.
The ending credits song? Yes.
What's that one little line that
Nothing more but an instant enema. Yeah. Which they only put in the song one time.
All right, so you watch this movie only to be hit with the end credits of this completely baffling and shocking sampling of the lines from the movie to
Mostly
some like
Warwick's
funky
lines.
Yeah.
Because he had the oddest lines.
And you're feeling like, am I being trolled right now? Like, what is the
But
deal?
I will say, in the same year of 1990, Brain Dead did a very similar thing where they're just taking quotes from the movie and saying brain dead, brain dead. And I'm like, was this a thing in 1990?
This was early computer music. This is what happens when you give everyone a computer in the early 90s. They're like, we'll make the song to the outro credits ourselves.
we can't get the rights to any actual song besides the Beach Boys.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have played the Beach Boys again, but no, they played this song because someone made it and worked very hard on it.
Fantastic way to end the movie.
That was a great silver gut. Good job,
kind
Tony.
of slaps you in the face.
Yeah.
So what was yours?
My silver gut goes to the rat trainer and the entire rat crew.
Ooh, that's a good one too.
Somehow this rat trainer got, at first when we were watching all the rats lined up watching stuff happen, we're like, half of those must be dead and taxidermied, right? But if you watch it again and you look closely, no, they're all moving, twitching very slightly. Every single one of them, we confirmed, looked alive. So for this rat trainer to have trained all these adorable little rats just line up next to each other and watch with bated breaths and little twitching whiskers, so amazing.
I think they said they had like 40.
40 amazing, well-acting, well-behaved, adorable little rats. Sometimes swimming, sometimes falling. Some of them cried. When Doris died, two of them had
did look
tears.
like they were crying, yeah.
Two of them had the Brad Dourif tears.
Yeah. They are emoting like Indy from Good Boy.
They definitely needed some sort of award, which is why I give them a silver gut.
All right. I like that. That's
you.
sweet.
Thank you. All right. What gets your golden gut, Tony? Your coveted golden
Wait
gut.
a second. Before we get to our coveted
shoot.
Golden Gut Award, I'm surprised that you did not have a Spleen Stealer Award, which goes to the obvious choice of Brad Dourif as the exterminator.
The reason why I didn't give him a spleen stealer is because he's in more than one or two scenes.
Oh, so I don't know the qualifications for this award.
My qualification for spleen stealer is that you have to be in just one or two scenes where it's
He
like,
kind of is only in one or two scenes. He's there in the beginning. Yeah, maybe he's in 3 scenes.
he's in like 4. He's in there.
He's there at the beginning where he's sucking the rats out, and then he's got his big monologue, and then he's got his confrontation with Warwick, and then he's in 4 scenes.
If I was going to give a true spleen stealer to someone, it would either go to Richard France in the diner, having no lines, barely in frame, or that old guy that gets a bowl of hairy porridge.
And I don't think either of those deserve any sort of spleen steal.
Well, then I didn't have a spleen stealer.
Okay, fine. Nix my spleen steal award, but I just wanted to give more
The reason
kudos to Brad Dourif.
I will give him more kudos with my golden gut. Are you ready? My golden gut is a tie between Brad Dourif and Stephen Macht. They both deserve a golden gut because the two of them, their performances, and when we get that one scene where they're both together, they're vying for
taking shots of Jim Beam, which Elise also likes. That's her preferred whiskey.
So yeah, I know Nardello loved the Jack Daniels, but I'm more of a Beam person, and I love that they're in there just chugging their Jim Beam. Even Moxie gets in on it. That's a great scene. The two of them just vying for the lens, the camera. Like, who can showboat more? Brad Dourif and his buggy blue eyes, or Stephen Macht and his very creative accent?
100% agree. I gave my golden gut also to Warwick. He was over the top. Yes, a bit much, sure, but it worked.
Welcomed.
He was the most memorable thing from the movie.
Right. Would I have liked this movie if it had a very subdued and, I don't know, normal accent? Not that his accent wasn't normal, but it was definitely a choice and very sing-songy, a bit distracting. And so I did have to watch the movie a couple times to really understand what they were saying rather than just listening to the intonation.
100% agreed. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, my golden gut is the same as yours because I gave a spleen steal. So
yeah,
that was pretty much the movie. It's like if you want to watch a movie that has a
wonderful villain, a very interesting villain, and of course an amazing performance from Brad Dourif and adorable rats and a really cool and creative theme song at the very end of the credits, then watch Graveyard Shift.
Yeah, you should also watch it on the 4th of July.
Yes, it is a holiday movie.
Holiday movie.
Which is why we're covering it now. Just
Exactly.
kidding. Complete
We meant to do
coincidence.
that.
We meant
Yes.
to do this.
All right, moving along. That brings us to our overall blockbuster rating. So for a 3.5, would that put this on the main shelf for you?
I think it's a main shelfer.
I think it's the main shelfer. It's not like at the top row, but it's near one of the bottom rows when we're highlighting Stephen King.
Yeah.
It'll be there with Thinner.
If Stephen Macht and Brad Dourif were not in this movie, then this could very easily be a bargain bin for me.
Could have easily been, yeah.
Easily been a bargain bin, but because of those performances, because of all the things that we sing the praises of, it gets to be on the main shelf.
100% agree. There's a lesson that I learned from this movie, and it is if the job sucks, just know that there are other options out there. It may seem like desperate times and you may want to make double pay, but it's not worth it. It's never worth it. Join your union, start a strong union, and really fight for your workers' rights, because otherwise you're going to end up getting chomped by a
Giant
mutant rat bat.
Yeah. In the words of Tucker Cleveland, ain't no job worth this.
But then he caved and did it anyways.
He tried to back out, but then the stupid coffin got him. So if only he had thought that earlier, he might have been saved. What's your favorite Warwick quote?
The graveyard shift.
When's the last time you've been to a graveyard? Yeah, that's about it. That's all we got.
All right. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you've made it this far,
And listening.
we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. If you like what you've heard, please like, follow, give us a rating, do all of those things, share, add us on social media.
Just play us on in the background somewhere so the YouTube algorithm can push it out to more people.
And don't forget to leave an emoji. If you did actually play along with Graveyard Shift, leave a tombstone emoji or a rat emoji.
Ooh, leave a rat emoji.
Thank you so much for watching and or listening. This has been another episode of Gutted.